Welcome back, my name is Brandon. Today we've got a little welding project in store for us. This is my 2004 CBR600 that I rescued from a salvage yard that had been crashed and went into a frog pond. I went and bought it, completely went through it and restored it. It has come a long ways from when I first picked it up, so go ahead and check out that video. This is where it all began. A once proud motorcycle now leaning lifeless against a scrap pile, its future uncertain. Most would see this as nothing more than twisted metal and faded paint, but I saw a story worth telling. A VIN number led me down a rabbit hole. First, a Carfax report revealing the exact date of the crash. That date took me to the accident report, and suddenly the pieces started to fall into place. I went to the crash site, standing where the pavement still carries the memory of that day. From the police report to the tow truck driver's account, I could see exactly how it happened. This is the start of a journey, not just to rebuild a motorcycle, but to bring it back from the edge. But there's a couple small things that we still have left to do, and one of them is modifying the kickstand because this motorcycle was lowered from the previous owner. I think this will be a fairly simple job, and we'll probably do it right on the bike. I'm probably going to take maybe like a ½ inch, 3/4 of an inch out of this, and then weld it right back on while it's on the bike. The problem is that the suspension has been lowered, so this bike is almost completely vertical when you park it. And I've had probably 2 or 3 occasions where I've almost tipped the bike over and lost it going the other way. It's really hard. You got to be careful on how you park it. You can't park it on any angles unless the kickstand is downhill because the bike will flip over. It's a problem. So we're going to try to fix that today. And then this is where the license plate goes. I need to make a bracket, and I'll make one out of aluminum that just bolts to this, that comes out with a 90 so that I can mount a couple reflectors, because you need reflectors here in the state of Maine, and whoever put this on took the reflectors off. I'm trying to make sure that this is completely legal so that I can get this inspected, and then probably I'll end up selling it in the spring. I do love this bike, but I want something newer. They had also gotten rid of the front reflectors here, so I went and sourced some out on eBay and picked up some new ones. So now it's got those, so that meets the requirements of what it's supposed to have. This is just all around a great bike. No leaks, no drips. It's got 50,000 miles on it. That's a little high for me, but these bikes, if you take care of them, these will go, 100,000 miles. That's not unheard of. Yeah, I think this will be the way to do it. So I'm going to take these little spacers here and just some small pieces of aluminum. I actually use these for kickstand blocks. I usually keep one in each of my bikes and put them under the pad of the kickstand to give it a little more surface area, so when it's really hot in the summer, so it doesn't end up sinking. The kickstand doesn't end up sinking down into the pavement. I don't know if it's hard to see, if you can see that or not, but alright, we'll just zip that off right there. Be a little tight cleaning it up down in that little pocket right there, but we'll do our best. Much better. Let me try moving it in a couple random spots and see if that makes a difference. Oh yeah. Yeah, much better. I think what I'll do now is bring this into the workshop and run it on the portable bandsaw and get it as close as I can. Then we'll re-flatten out that foot a little bit. It's just bent from years of use. And see if we can try to get that weld out of that concave section. That might be a little difficult, but I think we can do it. This is one of many tools that I've built over the years, and if you want to see how I built this and a lot of others, I'll have a link to a playlist down below that you can check it out. You'll have to pardon all this stuff. My grandson has been down in the workshop doing all kinds of work, he says. I told him I wouldn't touch it. I'm just going to leave it the way it was. That's his thing that he's got going on right now. There, it's a little bit straighter. Now, we just got to see about getting all that weld out of there. I'm tempted just to cut a piece of metal out this shape and just weld it on. Obviously this has this lip on it from the factory, and I want to keep it that way for aesthetics. I don't want you to be able to tell that I did this work. That's one of the goals that I really like to do, is when I do something, make it look as though it was never done. I ended up using a grinder to clean out this area, but the right tool probably would have been like a rotary burr, something along those lines, but I did get it done, as you'll see here in a second. Now I'm just cleaning off the kickstand, getting all the paint and all the stuff off it, so I got nice bright shiny metal before welding. That's just about how it needs to be right there. I'm actually going to be welding this with self-shielded flux core wire, 30 thousandths, just because we're outside, wind's blowing, it's going to be a lot easier doing it that way. The younger me would have just welded this up without disconnecting the battery, but the older me doesn't want to take the risk of frying the computer. Even though the risk is super low and it would probably never happen, I'd rather not experiment with it, so I'm going to disconnect the negative battery lead. That way we know that we're not going to fry the motorcycle's computer. Stick a little rag over those terminals so they can't creep up into place and make a connection. There. Now we don't have to worry about it. And for my machine, I'm going to be using my 120 volt Hobart handler. Probably set it on like 4 and 40. Like I said, I'm using 30 thousandths Lincoln self-shielded wire. I also like to run a flux core nozzle whenever I can, and I have one on this torch just so I don't mess up the gas ports underneath. See, if you look under there, those little holes and stuff can get plugged up with spatter when you run flux core, and you can really mess it up. And not to mention, while you're welding and your trigger's pulled, this becomes electrified, and if you bump any part of this body on the material that you're welding, it's actually going to blow a little hole in it and mess it up. So I want to avoid that too. And they just go on, some screw on, some push on. These just push on. Just like that. Yeah. Make sure it clears everything. It does. Good. Okay. That's where it's got to be. Flux core wire gets a bad rap sometimes, like it's an inferior option compared to solid wire, but that's really not the case. Flux core has its own advantages. It's strong, portable, and you don't need to haul around a gas bottle. That makes it perfect for field work or when you're welding outside where wind would blow your gas shielding away. Pad of steel underneath there so I don't end up melting all the pavement here. It burns hotter, it gives good penetration, and once you learn how to dial it in, it lays down a solid weld. There we go. That's done. Just as good as factory. Got a bunch of little spatter on there, so I'll have to take my wire wheel and get that spatter off it. Then we'll paint it, and it'll look just as good as new. Yeah, I'm glad that's done. The bike is just sitting so much better now. I don't have to worry about it tipping over. Then there's a close-up look of it. Came out really good. Now, like I said, I did my wife's MT-03 right there. That came out awesome. I did the kickstand on that. I had to build a jig because the kickstand is at like a different angle and it's got some weird funky bends in it. So I built a jig for that one, then welded it all up and sent it off to the powder coaters. And if you want to check that out, I'll have a link to that. So now with the kickstand done, let's make that bracket for the back. So as you can see, before it was kind of like down like that, and then the license plate light is up there. So I think what I'm going to do is move the plate up like that, make a bracket out of flat bar on the back that spans the whole width like this, and then it 90s down with like maybe 1.5 or 2 inch little tab, so then you can put a red reflector that's supposed to be on the back. When people put these tail tidies on, they always get rid of the reflectors on the back, which just to kind of make it more streamlined. But I do plan on selling this in the spring, so I want to make sure that it's 100% right and legal as far as main inspection standards are concerned. If someone else wants to take that bracket off after the fact, once they own it, that's on them. But for now, I need to make sure that this, you know, is safe and passes inspection so that I can sell it and sleep good at night. All right, I'm going to start by putting a mark at 2 inches and then bending a 90 in it, and then we'll come over the width of the plate and then put another bend right there and then back 2 inches. So right there. Then I'll put this in my bending brake that I made, and if you want to check out this video, go ahead and check it out. It's fairly inexpensive to build this, and it works awesome. Now we just got to make sure that it's 90 degrees in the press. Right there. To put the edge on this punch, I actually used a router with a wood cutting bit. It's pretty original and it worked great. So go check that video out. If you've got some wood tools and a few metalworking tools, you can easily build this yourself. And look at that. Look how nice of a crisp bend that is. And I built this, I want to say, for maybe around $70. It wasn't a whole lot of money. Now we'll make our other bend right there. Double check it for square again, and it's not, so we just gotta push it over until it is. Right there. We just gotta mark where we want the holes for our license plate bolts. Pretty good guess on front to back. I'll have to adjust it a little bit, but not much. I love it. My grandson makes all these messes in the workshop, and I like that he's getting involved. He had started it, and then we had to go do some other stuff, and I said, just leave it on the table. I won't disturb it, and when next time you come over to visit, you can pick right back up where you left off. So now we got those centers marked. Now we can cut off the ears to make them 2 inches, make them identical on both sides, then round them off and get this thing ready to assemble.
Now I'm using my portable bandsaw again, and now I'm going to be using a new tool, which is my portable magnetic drill press that I built. Go check out that video. This is another fun one.
Now I want to round these corners off, so I want to get myself a nice line that I can follow. So I'm just using a Sharpie marker. This will all come off with some acetone when we're done. Then you can pick a washer that you like the radius of, that looks good to you, and then just trace the edge of the washer onto our marks that we made. That way you'll get a nice consistent radius. See that? What I like to do is go back over to my bandsaw and just take the bulk of that material off and then sneak up on it with a grinder. They make grinding discs specifically to grind aluminum so that it doesn't fill up the pores of the grinding disc, heat up, and then explode the disc. So if you're grinding aluminum, just make sure you're using the proper disc for the job. Gaining. So now the license plate will bolt to this bracket. Then the reflectors, the red reflectors, will be here, so that'll be on the outmost of the motorcycle. I've got my bracket all cleaned up. It's kind of hard to see it, but I've cleaned the edge of that and right there. So if I want to put a little bit of weld on the back side, and I've cleaned it along here. I was going to bolt it, but I think I'm just going to weld it now. You can see where this right here is welded onto the frame. It used to have a spool in this, but I think when it was being towed out, it was catching on the ground and it kind of ripped this. So my goal is to basically fill the inside of this hole up and then re-drill it. And this is the piece that actually broke off it. So I'll fill it in. I'll actually put this back on so we can reuse it. This is what it should look like on this side. Got a foot pedal down here. I'm going to be TIG welding this. I got it set up on a pedal, 100% argon gas. I'm plugged into 240 volts and I got a maximum output of 140 amps on the pedal.
For filler wire, I'm using Blue Demon 3/32 4043 wire. I'm using straight argon, I believe with 14 CFH of gas, and I'm using a CK flex head TIG torch. I love this flex head. You'll see me using here in a few minutes when I'm welding on that plate bracket, because I had to actually bend it a little bit to get it in there, and I absolutely love it. This is an incredible torch. I'm so glad I bought it. I've paid for all this stuff myself. I've had it for a while. I don't use it a lot, but I absolutely love it.
Now I've got that all filled up. Now I just got to grind it flush and then drill it out, and then we'll be in good shape.
TIG welding aluminum is a whole different animal than steel. For one, aluminum conducts heat really fast, so your puddle can change in an instant. That's why it's important to watch the molten metal, not just the arc. It tells you everything. Aluminum also forms an oxide layer almost immediately when exposed to air, and it melts at a higher temperature than steel, so keeping it clean is key. One cool thing, TIG welding allows for super precise control, which is why it's the go-to for aerospace, automotive, and high-end fabrication. You don't need a ton of filler if your technique is solid. It's all about patience and keeping a steady hand. Even experienced welders will tell you that aluminum has a mind of its own. I'm still learning myself, so I take my time, I enjoy the process, and I appreciate the little lesson every piece teaches.
Come back, say an inch. That's a 2-inch tab, so we'll put it right in the center. I'll do the same thing over here. Come back an inch. Yep, that looks good. I'll start it with a pilot bit, and then we'll finish it out with the actual size bit. It should drill pretty easy because it's aluminum, so it's soft. We'll put a little thread locker on it so it doesn't work its way off. Oh yeah, that's gonna work nice. That's gonna work wicked good. I mean, I obviously like it better without them on there, but this is legal, so we don't have to worry about, you know, not getting an inspection, and plus it makes you safer to be seen from the side. So I take this protective film off. We're gaining. That looks super good, really clean. And there's the back side of it, as you can see right there. Now we got to drill this out, and I'll do it the same way. I'll start with that little pilot bit and then finish it out with a larger one, then we'll tap it for whatever that thread size is. Alright, now I got a number 8 by 125 tap, and we're just gonna run this down through here. And if you never tapped threads before, you wanna go a little bit and then reverse it to break the cut. See, I'm going ahead a little bit, and then I reverse it a little bit. Go ahead a little bit, then reverse it a little bit. With aluminum, you got to be a little extra careful because it tends to gum up your tap, and you want to make sure that your tap stays clean. Hey, you can see that's all tapped out good. I don't know if you can see. There you go. You can kind of see through the other side a little bit, but it's got threads all the way in it. There's no voids, which is nice. And I'll add a little bit of never sees to it. Put a little bit up under the head. Now that we got this swing arm spool fixed so that we can lift the rear tire off the ground, that's going to lead us to our next project, and that's going to be over on my other channel, which is Motivated 207. I ordered a couple new tires for this because it's down to the wear bars. It's getting a little thin, so I've got a couple new tires coming for it. I noticed that the brake disc had a little ridge on it, so I ordered a new rear disc. And I ordered all brand new brake pads, front and rear. So come springtime, this bike will be ready to go and super reliable. Remember the little tab that used to be on here where the plate used to bolt? I ended up actually just cutting that off. Cut it off, ground it flush, and then just hit it with some spray paint. That way it looks, you know, a little cleaner when the plate's off it. That's all there is for today. I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. New videos every Friday, so please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. If you're curious about this bike, because it's got quite the story behind it, go check it out on my channel, Motivated 207, and I'll have links down below to that channel. Until next week, I will see you then. Take care, stay safe, and God bless.